What is good, everyone? Welcome to the PWD channel where we discuss professional wrestling. What a segment. I'm reviewing today's episode of SmackDown, the June 2nd, 2023 episode of Friday Night SmackDown. What a freaking segment that ended off the show. It was freaking awesome. Like, honestly, 5 out of 5 segment. It was so freaking cool. Absolutely loved it. For those who haven't watched it, I'll go ahead and explain some of it, but it was the conclusion, not the conclusion, but the follow-up to everything that just happened at Night of Champions a few weeks ago, or not even a few weeks ago, literally a few days ago, when Jimmy Uso finally turned on Roman Reigns. We finally got to see what really happened here. So this started off, of course, it was the main event. Triple H introduced Roman Reigns immediately. Actually, it started a little bit before then because backstage, Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa were together, and Paul Heyman told Solo Sikoa he's going to talk with Adam Pearce. He's going to make sure the Usos are not allowed to come into the arena at all. Adam Pearce then agreed. Later on in the show, we also got to see Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman talking backstage. Adam Pearce is like, the Usos' flights have already been canceled. They will now not allowed to be, or they're not allowed to be in the stadium at all. And if somehow they even enter to the arena, there's going to be double security, double more security than usual. So they're not going to be able to get in even if they do arrive. So that was pretty much the plan. That's everything that happened. Usos were not expected to be here at all tonight. Then we go on to later on, Triple H presents Roman Reigns a brand new belt. They finally made the two belts just one, I think. I hope that's what they did. I'm pretty sure that's what they did. The new WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, so I guess it's both belts still combined, but under one name. It's a really good looking belt. It's basically the black WWE belt. What was the WWE Championship? It's basically that, but the inner plate is gold. So it's fully gold on the inner plate. I don't know if this is exclusive to Roman Reigns only, and if someone else wins it, they're going to move that inner plate from gold back to just the black leather, or if this is just a brand new belt, or maybe this is just the third belt for Roman Reigns to carry. I don't really know. They didn't really clarify on that. I'm pretty sure it's just this is how the new belt is going to look, and Roman Reigns is currently holding one belt. But again, they didn't clarify on that, so I guess we'll see when the time comes. But yeah, we got a brand new belt. So 2 brand new belts recently, which is pretty cool to see. But yeah, Roman Reigns, or Triple H presents that to Roman Reigns. And then Roman Reigns is pretty much like, blah, 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 acknowledge me. And the Usos come out immediately. Once they came out, I was kind of curious. I was like, is Jimmy going to come out and be hyped, but Jay's going to be a little bit hesitant? But no, they were both fully on board. It looks like Jay has, at least at this point in time, Jay fully chose Jimmy. He's like, all right, I'm here for you. You're my twin. You're my brother. I'll be here for you to the end. I'm here for you now. Let's see what's about to happen. So they come out. Jay, again, Jay's fully on Jimmy's side. And then they get in the ring. Jimmy gets a mic, goes to commercial break. Once it comes back, though, they're just standing there staring at each other. Jimmy and Jay are both staring at each other. We got on Jimmy's back, we got Jay, and on Roman's side, on his back, they have Solo Sikoa. And then they're just like, Roman, they start talking, but immediately Roman's just like, I want you to kick your brother. Kick your brother. Go ahead, kick him. And he's talking to Jay, who's right behind Jimmy. And he keeps telling him over and over, kick your brother. This isn't me asking you. I'm telling you. This is me demanding you. Kick your brother right now. And he keeps telling Jay to kick Jimmy over and over. He's like, kick your brother so we can fix this problem. But and then Jimmy, once Roman says that, Jimmy just screams into the mic, man, the only one that needs fixing is you. And then he starts going off on Roman. He's like, I forgot what he says. He's somewhere around the lines of like, what you've done to us, what we did to you. I remember now. Jimmy said, what I did to you at Night of Champions was because you're my brother. I did that because you're my brother, and we're all brothers. I did that because you're my brother, and brothers treat each other with love and respect. But lately, you haven't been a good brother. What kind of brother manipulates their brothers? What kind of brother betrays? What kind of brother beats down on their own family? And Jay just runs off saying, what kind of brother does this? What kind of brother does that? Accusing Roman Reigns of all the things that he has been doing lately, and pretty much telling him like, what kind of brother does this? I did what I did to you because I love you and because I care about you. I kicked you in the face because I love you and care about you. All of these things that you've done to me, you're not acting like a brother anymore. I'm trying to be a brother to you, but you're not acting like a brother to me. And you can see Jay in the background too, getting hyped, agreeing with Jimmy. He's fully on Jimmy's side in all of this as of this moment. So that keeps going on. And then he keeps going on. Jimmy goes on a long rant, which was pretty fire. You should check it out if you haven't. But Jimmy's like, brothers don't do this, brothers do that. And then he's like, I do these things for you because you're my brother. He points at Jay. He points at Roman. You're my brother. And he even points at Solo as well, I believe. Or I believe he points at Roman, but I know for sure he points at Solo. And he's like, and Solo, you're my brother. And I'm going to tell you straight up, as a brother, if you keep sticking around with Roman, he's going to do the same exact thing to you that he did to us. He's going to manipulate you. He's going to abuse you. He's going to take advantage of you, and he's going to use you until you're no longer usable anymore. And he's going to throw you out like a piece of trash, basically, is what he said. So he's telling Solo, like, what happened to us, it's going to happen to you as well. And then Roman goes off and he starts talking. He's like, you know what? Let's see. I'm going to ask, you're putting all these words in your brother's mouth and stuff. Let's ask Solo himself. Who are you loyal to, Solo? Who are you loyal to? Because Jimmy's like, we're loyal to each other as brothers. And Roman's like, let's see who Solo's loyal to. Solo grabs the mic. He hesitates for a while, and this is like the first time he's had any real mic time. At first, Solo's like, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. And then he pauses for like 5-10 seconds. Roman Reigns is laughing. He's like, of course, duh, he does. He's not surprised at all, but he's laughing at the Usos because the Usos look disappointed, and Solo's like, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. But then he says, but these two right here, they're my brothers. And he moves, remember, he was behind Roman Reigns. He moves from Roman Reigns' side and goes on with the two Usos, and he's there fully along with them now with the three brothers. And I'm just like, yo, Solo just chose the Usos over Roman Reigns. That was my mind for a split second. I can't lie, spoiler alert, there's a turn coming. I figured the turn was coming. And the reason I figured the turn was coming was because Solo aligned himself right on the right side of Jimmy Uso, and he had his thumb out, and his thumb was taped ready for a Samoan spike, and he just had his thumb out. It was just sitting there like this, like it was by his side, but it was like that. His other hand was normal, but this hand was like this. So I'm just thinking in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's probably going to Samoan spike him, to be honest. It was, in my opinion, it was predictable, but not in a bad way. It definitely didn't take away from the segment at all. So that happened. The two go on. They're standing, all three of them are standing next to each other. Of course, the Usos have no idea what's about to come. But yeah, as of right now, Solo chose the Usos. The crowd's going crazy. The crowd loves it. And then Jimmy Uso then asked Roman Reigns, he's like, are you going to do the whole respect thing that we want to do? Because the whole thing that the Usos want to do now is stay as a faction with the Bloodline, but just be respectful towards each other. Treat each other as equals. No longer Roman Reigns as the tribal chief, or not necessarily not the tribal chief, but not the head of the table who's going to be beating down on his little brothers. Jimmy wants the same exact respect from all four members, the same equality with all four members. And Jimmy's like, he was like, let's do this together now, Roman. Are we going to do this whole respect thing? Or are you going to stay on that island of relevancy all on your own, basically? He's like, are you going to do this with us? Or are you going to do this all on your own? And then Roman gets pissed off when he hears that. Roman screams. He's like, man, shut up. And he gets in Jimmy's face. Immediately, Jimmy big faces him. Jimmy's not even having it. He pushes Roman's head back really far. Roman takes a few steps back with that pie. He's like, bro. And Roman just looks upset. Jay, after that, Jay immediately gets in between both Roman and Jimmy. Jay's yelling at Jimmy. He's like, why would you do that? Why did you do that? Why? Blah, blah, blah. You know, he's going off on Jimmy, basically saying, why did you do that? Same thing that he did whenever Jimmy super kicked Roman at Night of Champions. Then he gets into Jay gets into Roman's face. He's kind of, not his face, but he gets in his area. He's like, don't attack him. Don't attack him. Don't attack him. It's not worth it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Jay's trying to play peacekeeper here at this point. And Jimmy's settling down now. Roman still looks really mad, but Jimmy's settling down. And then Jay goes on again. He's like, we're stronger together. Jay's going off. He's like, we're stronger together. We need to stay together. We're stronger together. Jimmy agrees, and he's like, all right, let's do this together again. Let's do the Bloodline. Let's continue to keep our faction together, but as a family. We're family, right, Roman? We're brothers. We're still the ones. And he asked that to Roman. And Roman doesn't say anything, and he hugs Jimmy Uso. And the crowd goes crazy again. The crowd's loving it. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I don't believe Roman. I didn't think he was going to turn here, but I was kind of like, I don't believe it. Just looking at his face, I don't believe he sincerely means this hug. I think that he's going to continue to manipulate them. He's going to say, like, yeah, we can be respectful towards each other, but he's going to continue to manipulate them. But no, he turned immediately. I'm not that surprised he turned immediately, but like, I thought it was going to be a little bit of a simmer down, a little bit of or not simmer down, but like I thought they were going to little marinate us. But no, immediately Roman hugs him. They hug for like 10-15 seconds and Roman says no. And Jay on the left side of Jimmy just looks distraught. He looks disgusted, like just so devastated that Roman said no. The two stop hugging. Roman is looking at Jimmy's face, and then out of nowhere, of course on his right side, Solo hits the spike on the Samoan spike onto Jimmy's throat. Jimmy's down. Jay is just like, he looks mad at first. He looks mad at Solo, but then he goes down and consoles and comforts his brother while he's down on the floor. The two, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, walk out. Solo Sikoa chose Roman Reigns over his very own blood brothers, the Usos. I'm ashamed of Solo Sikoa. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really ashamed of Solo Sikoa. I'm not surprised, but I'm still very, very ashamed. I really think that he should have chosen the Usos, but it's too late now. He made his mark and he chose Roman Reigns. All three of them walk out. When I say all three of them, I mean Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, and Solo Sikoa. Walk up to the ramp. Michael Cole says, Jimmy Uso has officially been excommunicated from the bloodline, which was just a really cool line, by the way. So Jimmy Uso is now no longer in the bloodline. And then once they get up the ramp, after Michael Cole says that, Heyman then asks Roman Reigns, he's like, but my tribal chief, what about Jey Uso? What about Jay? Because Jay technically still hasn't done anything to this point. Jay was just trying to play peacekeeper. Roman Reigns turns around, he looks at Jay, and then he talks to Roman. He talks to Paul Heyman. He's like, Jay's gonna do what he always does. He's gonna fall in line. And I'm just like, damn, they're gonna do this. They're really going to tease Jey Uso choosing Roman and Solo over his brother, over his twin, Jimmy Uso. I'm just like, bro, what? Like, whenever Michael Cole said Jimmy Uso has officially been excommunicated from the bloodline, and he didn't mention Jay at all, I was like, that's interesting. And then Paul Heyman asks Roman what's gonna happen with Jay, and Jay says he'll just fall, or Roman says Jay's just gonna fall in line like he always does. I was shocked. I don't know where they're going with this now. I honestly don't. Like, we could be in a world where least likely to happen, the whole bloodline forgives each other and they reform. That is almost impossible at this point. I think we're in a scenario now. Jimmy Uso is officially out of the bloodline. He is no longer part of the bloodline. But his brother, his tag team partner, his twin, that has been by his side for their entire tenure during WWE, is now on the other side of things. Jey Uso is now where he's trying to play peacekeeper, but his brother's officially out. He's always chosen his brother, but now he has to make a choice. Does he choose the bloodline? Does he choose his cousin? Does he choose Roman Reigns and his brother, Solo Sikoa? Or does he choose his, I guess you can call it, best brother, his twin brother, and the one who's been around with him this whole time, Jimmy Uso? Which one's it going to be? Which one is Jay going to choose? Or do we even get to a point where maybe Jay chooses Jimmy, and somewhere down the line, Solo gets tired of Roman and goes with the Usos as well? Or even splits off in his own little solo group, where he's just himself. Solo Sikoa is officially alone. He is officially Solo Sikoa. There's a lot that can happen. This was an incredible segment. I love the new WWE belt. I love the whole segment that just happened. It was great. But yeah, I mean, Jimmy Uso's gone. He's officially out of the bloodline. He's been excommunicated from the bloodline. Jey Uso, his brother, we don't know what's happening to him next. We don't know what's going to happen between the bloodline as a whole. There's a lot of things to go forward and move on from here. I'm curious to see what happens. Are the Usos going to challenge Solo and Roman to a tag team match? Is Jimmy going to challenge Roman to the WWE title? What the hell is going to happen here? There's so many different things can happen. But let me know down in the comments below what you think is going to happen and what you thought of this segment. I thought it was awesome. I loved it. And yeah, SmackDown as a whole, other than that, not that much happened. LA Knight defeated Montez Ford in the Money in the Bank qualifying match. The crowd loved this. So LA Knight is one of the other competitors. We also had Zelina Vega versus Lacey Evans. She ended up squashing Lacey Evans with the code red, pretty much. She basically beat her ass pretty easily. And she won that match to qualify for the Money in the Bank match. So there's that. Other than that, we also started the show off with Brawling Brutes versus Pretty Deadly and Austin Theory. That was a good match. It almost went like 30 minutes or whatever. It was really good though. It was a banger. But Pretty Deadly and Austin Theory ended up winning off of some heel tactics. Really fun stuff. Overall, decent episode of SmackDown. I'm gonna give it a clear-cut 4 out of 5. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree with that. What would you rate this episode of SmackDown? But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this review, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video there, guys. If you did enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't already. We make wrestling content like this weekly. I will be back on Monday with the Monday Night Raw review, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Love you all.